increased consumption, was it making us happier? Was it making us contented people? No, it was not the case. There were more number of people who were unhappy, more number of people who were immensely stressed and having a lot of mental stress there. Apart from this, if you look at the last 2 decades, I just look at what's happening in Chennai or probably the places which I have traveled. I found that there is a serious onslaught on the environment. We seem to be consuming more land, more environments, more land space, constructing more buildings there. So is it really useful to the environment? No, it's not the case. I would say there was a serious onslaught on the environment resulting in holocaust across the world there. So COVID-19 has turned this world really upside down. If you look at it, it forced us to consume less. It forced us to stay indoors. I never used my car for the last 1 month or two, and I probably used it only for a couple of times. Okay, so are we any less off from what we are doing before? No, it's not the case. We are in fact probably more contented, probably I'm more relaxed today, sitting at home and doing my job without having too much of stress, right? The elsewhere across the world, if you look at the environment seems to be getting re-energized. Ganges water seems to be getting clearer or cleaner. And there are places in North India where I've stayed for nearly 5 years where they could actually sight the Himalayas because it is just 200 kilometers from there. It was never the case for the last 20 years. So time to introspect and change course. So coming back to the Toastmasters, do more with less can also mean when we actually give speeches or give our table topic speeches, try to make it compact, try to make it very, very to the point instead of trying to be very wordy and verbose. So that's something that is a lesson we can take from Toastmasters. So let me now explain the entire flow of Toastmasters. The Toastmaster meetings has got 3 sections. First is the prepared speeches session, which is a very, very interesting piece where a galaxy of speakers will come and talk about various topics. And it will be an interesting line of speeches which we have today. The next session is a table topic session. This is something which I normally don't look forward to because it puts you in a very tight situation where you have to actually speak impromptu. But the good thing about table topic session is the fact that it really pushes you to push the envelope and actually make or improve your ability to give good speeches at a short time notice. So never back off from taking a table topics speech because it actually improves your speech giving ability. The third most important session today, which we have, is the evaluation session. So the evaluation session is run by a general evaluator, and it has got a set of seasoned evaluators who actually evaluate the speeches given in the first segment. So this is something that's very, very analytical session, and it gives the pluses and minuses in each speech. In fact, the evaluators use something called a sandwich technique to evaluate the speakers. So it's now time for me to introduce the general evaluator for the day. The general evaluator for the day is a young gentleman named Sudarshan. He's into business development and in an IT firm. Pranav believes that we can make every day productive by focusing on few activities and doing them well and getting the maximum out of them. So over to the general evaluator, Pranav Sudarshan.
Hello, very good afternoon all. Am I audible? Just give me a thumbs up.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So thank you TMOD for that brief welcome. So as a GE today, my job will be to evaluate the entire session right from start to end, and I will be giving a report at the end of the meeting. However, to aid me in this process, I have 2 teams. The first team is called as the tag team, and the second team being the evaluation team, where the evaluators will apprise their target speakers, will come in the later part of the meeting. So starting with my first team, the tag team, I would like to start with T, the timer. So the timer for today, actually, this person is someone, when I became a member in Medley, ever since that time, he's been someone who's always been encouraging me after every speech I give. He comes once in a while, but he always makes sure that he gives me the much needed positive energy to perform well during every meeting. It's none other than Toastmaster Ashwin. So Ashwin has been in wealth management for 19 years. And on his thoughts on the theme are, he says, life is short, then we perceive. We need to create a wonderful impact and always spread happiness. So with this intro, I would like to ask the timer Ashwin to please read out your objectives.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator Pranav. And as a timer, today my duty will be to time the speakers. The objective of this is basically to encourage the speakers to speak effectively within a particular time. And for that, to help the speakers do that, we have certain color codes and certain sounds what we'll use. In fact, today all the speakers will be speaking somewhere between 5 to 7 minutes. And on the 5th minute for the speakers, I'll be showing the green card. It will look, probably I might look a little weird, but it'll look like this, the green card. And on the 6th minute, I'll be showing the yellow card. And on the 7th minute, it'll be the red card. And once, along with the card, there will be a tone also, which will be, I hope you are able to listen to this tone. And just to indicate that you are on time with the respective schedules. And also the table topics or the Talkmaster, what we call, it will be between 1 to 2 minutes. Again, the first minute, a green card will be shown, then yellow card, then the red card on the 2nd minute. And for evaluators, similarly, for the respective time, the green card, yellow card, and the red card will be shown, along with the music, what you will be receiving, the buzzer, what you will be receiving. Thank you very much, and over to the General Evaluator, Pranav.
Thank you, timer Ashwin. So moving on, next we'll be going to the R counter. So R counter for today is one person who's so involved in Medley and all its activities. So whenever you come to a meeting, he will be the first person you will see well before everyone comes in. And none other than Toastmaster Ranga. So he believes in making friends and having good relationships. His thoughts on the team are, he said, devote less time to unnecessary tasks, rather focus more and prioritize your tasks, and then the impact will be great. So with this, I ask the accountant Toastmaster Ranga to please read out your objectives.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction, Toastmaster Pranav. Good afternoon, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of the R counter is to note words and sounds that are used as a crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen to overused words such as and, well, but, so, and you know. I will listen for filler words including and I will also know when a speaker repeats a word or a phrase such as I, this means, like, and so on. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ranga. So coming to the last member of the tag team, the grammarian. So grammarian for today is none other than our SAA, Toastmaster Sharanya. Probably the happiest person during the online meetings because she doesn't have to carry the pain of taking the suitcase to every meeting. A brief intro about her: she works in Fidelity Investments, loves watching TV series, and she also encouraged me to watch so much TV series that for the first time, I binge watched 5 seasons in a row, which I have never done before. So with this intro, I ask grammarian Toastmaster Sharanya to please read out your objectives.
Thank you, Pranav, for the introduction. So, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listen carefully to the language usage. I'll take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, codes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. Let me share my screen for the word of the day. Okay. So I think the host has to give permission to share the screen.
Go ahead, Sharanya. I've not built any.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. So the word of the day is efficiencies, which means achieving maximum productivity with minimum wasted effort or expense. So efficiencies is the plural of efficiency, and the example of efficiency is the reformers will lead to efficiencies and saving. I recommend all the members to use the word of the day. With this, I would like to hand it over to our general evaluator, Pranav. Over to you, Pranav.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sharanya. So with this, we are done with the introduction of the tag team. And now I will come back during the second half of the meeting for the evaluations. And now I hand it over back to the TMOD, Toastmaster Balamurli.
Thank you, Pranav. Thank you very much for the interesting session there. Okay, so we move on to the first segment of the day, which is a prepared speeches segment. I would just like to give one tip to all the speakers who are going to speak today. You just need to do one thing. Whenever you have started speaking, you just go to Ashwin's box and actually pin him so that you can actually see whether he's giving the right green or yellow or red cards, which is very, very important. Otherwise, you'll be missing that. So that's an important tip there for all the speakers who are going to come. The first speaker today is Darbaneshwar or Ishwar. Before we call him to give the speech, I would request his evaluator, TM Raghunath Mishra, to actually give his project objectives, to talk through the project objectives.
Thank you, Toastmaster. This is Raghunath Nair. The key purpose of Dr. Ishwar's speech, the purpose is to have the member to present a speech on any topic, receive his feedback, and apply the feedback to the second speech. The key purpose is to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. So it's the second speech in the Toastmaster manual, where he will be moving out from an icebreaker speech and doing his first project speech. Wishing Dr. Ishwar all the best for the project.
Thank you, Raghunath Nayak, for your reading of the speech objectives. Now let me talk about Ishwar. Ishwar is a researcher working in robotics and artificial intelligence. And he says that he personally likes and prefers to do smart work as it makes things very clear and easy to understand. So let's welcome Ishwar. Ishwar, is marriage a custom tradition or a search for new life? Is marriage a custom tradition or a search for new life? Ishwar, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Balamurli. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So before starting my speech, let me ask how many of the Zoom participants are married? Just a quick thumbs up is fine. Okay, quick number. So there is some hidden convention, right? There is a school life, a college life, then there is a job, and then obviously everyone will be asked to marry. So it's not like we have this convention. So and if someone says after job, let me enjoy for some time, then they will ask, oh no, it's not like that. You should not. Then they will think, no, this guy has some other problems and he's not into the marriage. But this marriage is something happening throughout our lifetime. Wherever in what year we are, let's be in 70s or 80s or 90s. Or even this Corona year, we have this marriage. And yesterday, my friend called me. He was saying, like, Macha, I'm going to marry. I was asking, how in Zoom or in Skype, how this is going to happen? No, I got passed from police. He was saying, like, from an IPS officer, I got signed and I'm going to marry. So even in a pandemic or what's going to happen, this marriage is some culture we are following throughout in our life, and that's going to happen regardless of what year we are going to be. And this is also unforgettable. Now, for example, someone will rejoice their marriage life or marriage being happen, and sometimes you'll also feel like we regret also because sometimes our wife will scold us, sometimes the utterances will fly in air. All these things will happen in marriage life, and sometimes you even think, oh, why do we marry? But still, this is something which will happen, and we have our own culture or tradition. For example, I went to one of my colleagues' marriage, and they were throwing money in the air. That shows that they are trying to show the happiness of the marriage. I was thinking like, let me grab some money so that I can use it for the return trip from marriage. Because the way they show happiness is fine, but there are different ways of showing this happiness. That's the one thing that I would like to point out here. And also in some marriages, they have the money garland, or even the ornaments are too much in some marriages. So each one have their own tradition and culture, and that's how the marriage is happening. But how this process is getting initiated, that is something even curious to know. I was asking my father, so how did you marry my mom, or how did you meet my mom? He was saying like, I just met, I didn't speak, I'm not supposed to speak. after the marriage we spoke. So then I was thinking, oh, then it's like working together in a environment called family. So there he was directly into the family arena. But right now we are in 2020 now. So here we have something called there's a 20 minutes talk. So before every marriage or before that entire process getting started, the bride and groom can meet each other. They have some 20 minutes to talk. And when one of my close friends were going to this, he was preparing some 100 questions, some 20 questions. So he was planning to ask her, and he was want to check whether she's compatible, she's good to go, or he has some 10 questions to ask her. I was thinking, just 20 minutes and you want to decide your life partner. So you're great, Ra. You're something having in your mind, and you're pretty much clear. And he was having and this is something called interview, we can say, because he has a horoscope match report. He's saying, see, horoscope is matching, so she's eligible for interview. Right now, I will check her and I will see the compatibility. Then I was thinking, this is like interview process before hiring someone. Yeah, because that's how that entire 20 minutes is scheduling the talk. Then I was feeling like, okay, let it be fine. Then where comes the two people will know each other, or where this entire thing will happen before they decide? Because that part is somehow the things are missing when it comes to the actual marriage life. Because see, the horoscope. So horoscope basically is something like we have some 12 stars and we are matching, and that's science basically. But what happens in reality is how they will know each other. Because this is what I was something curious whenever someone speaks me and asks me to come for a marriage, or let's go and see the bride and let's see whether she's compatible to me or not. And I was also thinking the same. And when it comes to my marriage life also, I was thinking at least I will be eligible to get some 1 hour to talk. Then they say no, it's just 20 or 20 minutes. It's before that you have to wrap up because your horoscope is matching. That's what the people are saying. So the idea of marriage is basically a union of two souls, and somehow right now the things are going like there are a union of two horoscopes, and from there the things are starting. So that's where the question comes into my mind: is marriage a custom tradition, or is something a union of two souls where two souls meet each other, or it's just a horoscope and the things are going on? So with this, I'd like to wrap up.
Thank you, Ishwar. There was a very interesting speech about marriage. Probably I've never done so much of research about marriage, what you have done. Okay, so the next speaker today is lovely Aryan. And before I introduce him, let me call his evaluator, Dinesh CJ, to read out his project objectives. Dinesh, you're there?
Yeah, I can hear you, Bala. The purpose of the project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. She has already finished her first speech, and this is her second speech. And with this, I return control to all the best to our speaker, lovely Aryan.
Okay, thank you, Dinesh. So let me talk about Lovely now. Lovely is doing his dynamic leadership project today, and he's currently pursuing his master's in economics at the Madras School of Economics. He's a cheerful person and infuses a lot of positivity in whatever activity he takes up in life. He believes that doing more with less doesn't mean conjuring motivation out of thin air, but it's all about working at an optimal level. Okay, so let me call Lovely to give a speech. Lovely Aryan, the magic carpet of e-commerce. The magic carpet of e-commerce. Lovely Aryan, over to you.
So there is one mismatch in the topic of the speech. Like my speech topic was life lessons.
Okay, so there's a wrong title given there. Yeah, okay.
So how many of you plan things ahead in your life? Okay, in fact, many of us do plan. Like I do plan things. Many of us plan things ahead in our heart, but as we say, it's the Lord's purpose that prevents. Like someone once said, like if you want to make God laugh, tell him about your plans. Like yeah, it's funny. So many of us think that we are in charge of everything in our life, like be it our dreams or anything like a New Year resolution. So we think things will go as we want, but it doesn't happen all the time, because as we have planned for our life, so does life as for us. So, fellow Toastmaster, dear friends, and dear guests, a very good evening to one and all. So, life doesn't always go according to our plan. Like the path we take, sometimes new path we take can be scary sometimes, unless we are headed towards a new destination, and which is like more better than previous one we are heading towards. So I would like to share a story of from my personal life. Like I went to my sister place in Delhi during this last winter break. So one night, she out of nowhere, she suddenly said that let's go to Taj Mahal. Like I was there for 4 years for my studies, like undergrad, but I never been there. But that night, like we booked our ticket immediately for the very next morning, and like because it was a 1 day trip, so we headed like early morning to catch the train. But like we were going to the catch the train by metro only, like to the railway station, but the visibility was so low during like 29 December. The in Delhi it's so chill and like cold is there, so because of fog, and also visibility was low. So I thought like we won't be able to catch the train. So we searched on the internet that there's a in between nearby station where the train departs 15 minutes later than the previous one. But the crucial part was that it just halted there for 2 minutes. So the situation was risky, but we had nothing to lose. Anyways, we were not going to catch the train and miss the trip. So we rushed from the metro like suddenly. So in life we have moments, like moment in this second where we have to take the decisions, and like we don't know where we will be, but in split of seconds our life changes sometimes from what we think, like or from what we have planned earlier. So that was that moment, like we rushed down and we rushed towards the other station. So like we were able to catch that train somehow, and we went to see the beauty of Taj Mahal, that immense love and pride symbol of love and pride, the like the monument which Saja has made for Mumtaz Mahal. And so I am a kind of person who used to like generally, like before this incident, I've never realized all this, but before this incident, I used to plan things like since childhood that I'll do this. But after this incident, I've left like planning things like let things go naturally. So, so I don't plan now, but also obviously I have plans in my mind, but I don't plan now. And after this Corona pandemic, nobody can plan. This like within 2 months it came like so suddenly. So due to this coronavirus is unpredictable to all of us. We like I just woke up one morning and I got email that vacate the hostel within 20 hours, and we were all from North India, and it was not possible like suddenly to vacate the hostel from Chennai to Delhi and Patna, but still we were in our home the very next 24 hours. So life can be like as much predictable. I had my placements and all going on, but now from 2 months, more than 2 months, I'm stuck in my home. Like so life is so unpredictable and unplanned. So sometimes I've learned from all this that sometimes the path we take may not be in our plan ever, but the destination may be the what we wanted for. So to like I can say that uh, we do manufacture, and like we do craft in our mind the things we want, and somehow we are able to do that up to a certain extent, but not always. And this is how life is. And this corona has like this has left a bigger impact in everybody's life about this unpredictability and unplanned part. Like everybody had some plans from March to June, and but somehow it, like we are leading the life somehow, like we are managing things. So that's how life is, and we have to accept what life choose for us. Like we have to let go things what we think sometimes, and have to accept what life gives us to us. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Lovely, for the wonderful speech and a lot of life messages there. Thank you very much there. So the next speaker is DTM Thomas Abraham, and I would like to ask his evaluator Jagannathan to read out his project objectives.
So DTM Thomas T. Abraham is delivering his presentation mastery level 3, project 1, persuasively speaking. There are only 2 objectives of this project. You have to understand the types of persuasive speech and to deliver a persuasive speech in front of the crowd. All the very best, DTM Thomas.
Thank you, Jagan. DTM Thomas, talking about him, is a communications consultant, hobby photographer, avid traveler, freelance writer, and a public speech coach. He is an efficiency freak in language, watches word count like a health freak, and watches his weight also. It's a very interesting introduction which he has given me. So let's welcome DTM Thomas Abraham, jettison JIT, and start making impactful speeches. Again, jettison JIT, JIT, just in time, and start making impactful speeches. DTM Thomas Abraham, over to you.
So you want to make a killer speech. So what do? Saturday morning, you get ready, you start preparing.
This was my mistake actually. I was sending the page photo of the page.
I'm stopping. There's a disturbance. Allow me. Are we okay? Can I continue?
Yes.
Thank you. You want to make a killer speech. So what do? Saturday morning, you start preparing. Where to raise the voice, where to raise the hand, where to pause, the words. Afternoon, you deliver. You fumble, you overshoot the time, keep the timer busy, and you leave the audience cold. Then you see people are smiling. Then you find they were on the mobile phones. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, including all just-in-time Toastmasters. Haven't we all gone through that experience? I want to tell you 3 things that will give you a fighting chance to deliver killer speeches, also make you the division conference chair. Any self-confessed just-in-time Toastmasters among us? No, you don't have to confess. But I can say this to you, that mentors dread you the most. Why? You get a speech slot, you say, what's the problem? It's a fortnight away. And then one day to go for the meeting, VPE asks, hey, what's the topic? Make it TBD. What is TBD? TBD is to be declared, as if it's some delayed election result. Anyway, that night, your mentor, past prime time on television, gets a message. Sorry for the hurry. VP said there is a dropout, asked whether I could do the speech. If you could kindly find the time, I will deliver the speech and we will have 2 speeches tomorrow. Brilliant, persuasively speaking. Or was it blackmail? Trying to extract sympathy for selflessly supporting the cause of the Toastmasters worldwide? The point is, why wait till the day of the meeting to start deriving the pleasure of getting ready for a speech? Answer is simple. This just-in-time Toastmaster hasn't reached that territory of pleasure. Any new person onto a guitar is bound to cut his fingers on the string and regret why he spent so much money to buy this bloodthirsty monster. Then soon things change. Soon he falls in love with that string and the music it creates. It's the same thing for the athlete, for the singer, for the dancer, and for the speaker. The earlier you reach that stage, the better. Once you are there, you will have an irresistible attraction for the stage. What used to be the pain of hunting and finding a topic and creating the speech draft soon becomes pure pleasure. And that microphone, it becomes an object of desire. Congratulations, you have arrived as a passionate speaker. And why not? Why pay good dollars that's appreciating and then carry the pain? Instead, that's point number one, enjoy speech making. My point number two is start pigeonholing. Remember the incident you had about with your boss last week? Classic case of supportive leadership. Just because you love it, don't use it up in your next speech. Hold it. It's ideal to go with your forthcoming project called Leadership Style. Same thing with all the life stories of yours, the episodes that have made what you are. Hold them back like a miser. Use them when projects require contents that are persuasive, motivational, or inspirational. Go through your projects in your path. Earmark projects, rather stories, contents for each of your projects. I can assure you, you will never be starved for topic for speeches. Third point, de-link speech preparation from speech delivery. The chef at the dosha counter, what does he do? He keeps making doshas more than one at a time. Same way, as you finalize your speech, one of them, agree with your mentor the main points for the second speech. Also, crystallize your thoughts for the third speech. So what happens is, you are always ready. Not boasting. I got an opportunity to speak today because mid-week Toastmaster Periyasamy dropped out. I offered the entire Medallions. I said yes, so here I am. So, three things to conclude. Start enjoying your speech, pigeonhole topics, and de-link speech making from speech delivery. Like wine maturing, let the contents of the speech swirl and settle in your mind. Give yourself that extra time to internalize, to practice, to perfect, and to deliver that killer speech. Once you do that, the next speech you will approach from a higher altitude of confidence, and you will do better. That is what is called the upward spiral of confidence. But remember, if you fumble and you overshoot, you are getting into the downward spiral of confidence, typically with the help of just in time. That is, incidentally, friends, the whole top secret of Toastmasters, of how we distill confidence from speeches. This confidence comes in handy when you get the call from the divisional director asking you to take on the responsibility of divisional conference chair. Go for it, rock the stage, be the star of the night. You can do it because you decided, you realized that just in time is wonderful to manage material parts, not mental processes. Just because you will do all this well because you have decided to jettison just in time, just now. All the best to you. Thank you, friends.
Thank you, GTM Thomas. That was a very useful speech for younger and aspiring Toastmasters as to how to do their speeches. That's very, very important. It's going to be really useful there. The next speaker is Toastmaster Krishna Kishore. And before his introduction, I would ask his evaluator, Ram Prasad, to read out his project objectives. Over to you, Ram Prasad, Toastmaster.
Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. The next speaker, my target speaker is Krishna Kishore. He is giving his speech in high performance leadership. It is a second speech. The purpose of this speech is for the member to apply his leadership and planning knowledge to develop project plan, organize the guidance committee, and implement the plan with the help of a team. The purpose of this second speech is for the member to share some aspect of his experience completing the project. Over to you, TM Modi. All the best, Krishna.
Thank you, Ram Prasad. TM Krishna Kishore is into cloud computing and infrastructure management. And by choice, he is into equity and equity research also. He's an avid book reader and plans to become financially independent by the age of 40. Kishore, you please give me some tips also. I would also like that. So let's welcome Krishna Kishore. 2019, celebrate your endless dreams. 2019, celebrate your endless dreams. Krishna Kishore. Over to you, Kishore.
Thank you, Balamulari. Hope you all might be seeing a background on my screen and thinking like where I am. Am I into some festive mode? Absolutely not, at least today. But 1 year back, if you are a Toastmaster, you remember this day. It was a very, very, very auspicious day for us as a Toastmasters. If you have joined after 23rd May 2019, I am going to take you through what we have experienced on this date on 23rd May 2019. Let us get started. So it is all about talking about Ovation, which was one of our biggest events of District 82. Right now, the time is 3:30 or 3:40 in India. Exactly 1.5 hours from now, we are about to rock the stage with our first ever event. But we had 80 members in the room. Unfortunately, I was not there because of some unfortunate situation. However, the team was working effortlessly. When we see on each one of their faces, they were not having even a single bit of dilemma or confusion. As Thomas sir said, they were all flowing. They were enjoying the moments they were creating in that particular auditorium, Chennai Trade Center. And we all were waiting for that single moment to witness the flag hoisting, which is the starting point of this ovation. So what is this ovation? For many of you Toastmasters who have joined after 23rd May, Ovation is one of the biggest conferences of District 82, wherein we will be having 4 different speech contests, ISC evaluation, TT, and humorous speech contest, along with 10 keynote sessions, so many awards, fun night, inauguration, and many more events planned across 3 days. It is from 23rd to 26th May 2019. So the agenda for today is, in my last speech, I spoke about what are those 3 unique lessons to be part of this team, to act as a program chair, the opportunity, what is verbose and what is abstract. And today, as part of this particular project, we are going to discover the next 4 letters of the Ovation, which is TION. Let us get started. Just to give you a premiere of what the first 3 were, the first one is opportunity. How did I got opportunity? And it was myself who have taken inquisitiveness to be part of this team, and I have requested Sugandhi and team to be part of the team, and that is how I got in. And the 2 characters which this role demanded was being verbose, knowing each and every segment of the event at a very, very minute details. So that was a lesson which I have demonstrated in my first speech. And the other one, to be able to help or plan the program for 3 long days, we need to possess that abstract bird's eye view of the whole program. Then only we will be able to contribute best to the program. These were 3 of my earlier lessons for this particular role. Today, I'm going to discuss about the other 4 learnings. Number 1 was time management. Let me give you an example. If it was before Ovations, if you ask me what is the time you need to have a Jana Gana Mana or a national anthem, I would have said 2 minutes. But as I started working for this particular project, I was so precise. It is 1 minute and 42 seconds. Absolutely, that's it. It is not going to take more than that. We have to plan the agenda as per. And for example, let me tell you, like if Sugandhi had to take 26 seconds to walk from the end of the door to the stage, it is just 26 seconds. We do not want to leave that 4 seconds of gap, marking it as 30 seconds. It is going to give a wrong interpretation to the members, and we will be having a lag on the stage. So this is one of the very key lesson I have learned as a part of this particular project. Before that, for me, 1 hour was 60 minutes. 1 minute is equal to 1 minute. But when I started working for this particular project, I realized 1 hour is 3,600 seconds. If we have to plan a program, we have to decentralize or decrypt 3,600 seconds. It's not just 1 hour or 1 minute. And the next lesson which I learned as a part of this, as a part of playing this role, was being impromptu. Many of you might think like it is an impromptu speaking. No, in such a big auditorium, we might, as a leaders, we might have to take so many decisions on the fly. Let me give you an example. Sorry. Let me give you an example. For example, the keynote speaker has completed his or her speech, and the MC has to give a token of recognition or appreciation to the keynote speaker. But no one is carrying the award. How do you manage that awkward moment on stage? It is an impromptu behavior, what we have to possess to take or steer audience through this flaw, what we are experiencing on the stage. Before joining this team or before handling or planning for this team, I wasn't aware that we have to be prepared to be impromptu on such a large stage. Let me give you another example. There will be 80 or 90 members working in that auditorium as a core team. But what if we have to make some immediate judgment on what needs to be done? You cannot wait for someone central to give you a decision on how to progress further. You have to make your own judgment and take the right call. It wouldn't be there on the paper. So that is one of the essential behaviors or attitudes we have to possess as a leader. And with this, by working for Ovations, I have improved my impromptu leadership skills, not only in speaking, but also making the decisions as we go forward in the life. And the other one, which is O, optimize. Here, let me give you an example again. That was a 3 days program, but there is a catch. On the third day, we cannot go up to 6 o'clock, which was a normal plan, because most of the Sri Lankan delegates have to leave the auditorium by 4 o'clock. So whatever we do, the whole planning was coming up to 6 o'clock. We had to reverse engineer the whole agenda so that we will be able to optimize the program without compromising the quality and give the best experience for our members. So what we had to do, we had to backtrack the agenda. We had to mark that the final event of the program at 4 o'clock to be closed by 4 o'clock. And from there on, we had to work backwards instead of forwards. So that is one of the greatest lessons I have learned. Sometimes you will not be able to reach your destination when you are following the tailwind, but you have to face that headwind to optimize it in a right way. So that is one of the key lessons I have learned as a part of this program. And finally, it is N for network. As a part of this, I was able to meet so many people, so many members and leaders with whom I have shared or experienced or learned a lot of leadership lessons. And also it has helped me in my personal life. I would like to give you an example here as well. In the month of December and November, I was crushed with some of my personal challenges. And my mother was hospitalized and was diagnosed with cancer. And we were repeatedly going doctor after doctor. But someone suggested two names in Chennai, and I don't know how to get to those two doctors. And those two were the top doctors in Chennai. It was with few of the connections I made as a part of Toastmasters journey. They were able to get me the appointment for those doctors, which was a life-soothing experience for me, because when I heard it from their perspective, I was able to realize the facts. So what it means to me as a network of people or professionals whom I have connected in this journey. And I'm sure that is going to stay back with me as I progress as a leader. Overall, to summarize, for me, Ovation is opportunity. Getting this opportunity was very crucial for me, which demanded two exclusive characteristics. One is being verbose, and the second is being abstract. You have to be a snake. You have to possess a view of a snake while constructing an agenda. At the same time, you have to understand it from a bird's eye view, abstract view, and see how it is going to look like when you present it on the stage. So you have to strike the balance of being a verbose as well as how it looks when it is abstracted onto the stage. Following that, I had 4 key lessons. One is I understood the importance of time management and how do you track and categorize time for different parts of events. Subsequently, I have used it in my personal life as well. And the second lesson is being impromptu. As a leader, you have to make so many judgments and decisions as you go along. For many of them, you do not have ready-made solutions. So being impromptu is always an essential skill. And the third one is being optimized. You have to optimize so many things so that you will be able to get the best out of what you are doing. Like our today's theme, do more with less. Finally, it is N for network. I have made enormous number of friendships as a part of this Toastmasters journey, and it not only helped me grow professionally, but also get some personal satisfaction whenever I needed some help from this network of professionals. Now, as we have discussed the whole thing about Ovation and my experience, let me take you back to that stage and show you few moments and take you back to 23rd May 2019. Here we go. Suganti, our district director, district director, was lighting the lamp on 23rd May. This was one of our kickstart events after the flag walk. Next, we had an amazing Bharata dance to showcase the skills of our local land. And this was the size of the audience we were discussing about. The size of the audience we have planned the event is for 1,200 to 1,500 Toastmasters coming under a single roof. You could imagine the magnanimity of this particular event. And finally, we had a lot of fun, and this is one of the pick from our fun nights. Finally, we have figured out our international speech contest winners for our district, and those are the 3: Shamraj, Chatura, and Shubhadeep Bhanik. With that said, thank you very much for listening to me, and those were my key lessons. As Suganti said, take up the leadership roles in Toastmasters, and absolutely, I'm so confident that you will learn something astonishing and as part of your journey to become better leaders. If you want to cherish those moments, I have created that tiny URL, tinyurl.com/ovation-2019. You can go back and see few of the pictures and memorize yourself and see yourself in those pictures and enjoy your rest of the day. Thank you very much, and over to Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Kishore. That was a wonderful speech. And that brings us to the close of the prepared speeches session. I would now ask the timer to read out the qualified speakers.
Thank you very much. And among the 4 speakers, 3 are qualified. Dr. Darabaneshwar is qualified, Lovely is qualified, and Toastmaster Thomas Abraham is qualified, and Krishna Kishore has exceeded the time extensively. Probably giving a speech from UK, probably he mistimed Indian time and UK time, I'm not sure. And that's it. Krishna Kishore is not qualified. Apart from Krishna Kishore, other 3 speakers are qualified.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Timer.
Yeah.
I would request the audience to please vote for one of the qualified speakers. Please take your time for the next few seconds and please vote for the qualified speaker for the best speaker of the day.
We will have our voting towards the end, Mr. Toastmaster.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Let's now move to the table topic session. And to take us through the session, let me introduce Toastmaster Renu Narayan. Renu is a storyteller who loves listening and telling stories. She believes in a minimalistic life and feels that living with less makes her very happy. Over to Toastmaster Renu.
Thank you, TMOD. Welcome all to this meeting. Now today, what we are going to do is we are not going to have the regular TT sessions as such. None of us are going to get 2 to 3 seconds, 2 to 3 minutes. So what I would say is we are going to have something called a spin a tale or round robin, that each person will be giving 30 seconds to continue the story. So I will start a story with 2 or 3 sentences. Each one of you have to continue the thread. But please remember the essence of storytelling. We have certain things to remember. We start off with the beginning, and then we have characters, we have a setting, we have a conflict, and then we have a solution and then a resolution. So by the time all of us finish speaking, we should have finished the story. Okay, is that understood? So I hope you remember that only 30 seconds are allowed per person. So the timer will show you the, I don't know exactly what time it will be shown, but I think that the red card will be shown at 30 seconds, I suppose. I don't know.
Yes,
okay, red card will be shown at 30 seconds. Fine.
Yes, yeah.
So let me start now. Are you all ready? Okay, so the girl stood at the window looking outside. It was pouring with rain and there was no sign of it abating anytime now. So she had to, looks like she would have to cancel her lunch date with her best friend. She was very disappointed, but she had no choice. How could one actually win a battle against nature? Just the way she thought, we are battling against the coronavirus. What was the next step that she could take? She remembered she had a story to read. So she went back to her cupboard, picked up a book and sat down to read it. And as she read, she looked out of the window again and saw, to her astonishment, that the rain had actually stopped. So she closed her book quickly, called a friend and said, Sumita, is our date still on? Shall we meet? Over to the next person. That would be Raghunath Nair. Is Raghunath Nair there or shall we? Okay.
You caught me at a very in a very difficult position to complete that story, in the sense like I was expecting being a role player. I thought I'll be the one which will not be called for. But it is always an opportunity when you to get and speak about completing a story of a lady or a girl getting wet and going for waiting for the date, getting confused, and to take you for 30 seconds time to talk about that particular topic. It's really intriguing because it takes back you to the time and time when you had a courtship time with your wife to be. Was it over? Was the time? Yeah.
Yes.
Over to the next speaker.
Pavitra Sridhar. Guest Pavitra Sridhar is there? Okay, next speaker is Saravanan.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, can hear you.
So the lady, what's the name? Sorry, I forgot the name.
I have not mentioned the name, so you can give the
Oh,
character any
lady,
name you want.
Okay, fine. So Sharmila, so she was speaking to a friend. At the time, she was describing the book she has read. So it was more about Satyajit Ray's book. It is called as Professor Shanku. Professor Shanku is an intelligent professor who has invented many things. So one of his inventions was to stop natural things. So one of the inventions was to stop the rain. So she stopped the rain using that invention, and then she spoke to her friend and told that, okay, fine, now the rain is over. Can we go out for a date now? And then she started with that.
Saravanan,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt, but your time is over. Please keep an eye on the timer.
Sure.
The next speaker is Janani Suri. Here I must mention that please, all of you, please pay attention. You have to continue the thread where it was stopped. Don't add in unnecessary details.
So after Sharmila saw that the rain had stopped and she called her friend and the friend said that the lunch date was on, she got ready to go out. She put on her outgoing clothes and just left the house. She went to the cafe where they had previously arranged to meet and saw that her friend hadn't turned up. So she took a table and she sat in the corner. Just as she was thinking what she could do to fill the time till her friend came, because there was traffic outside, she decided to go across the street and purchase a magazine to read. As she crossed the street to go to the magazine stand, she realized that she had entered the wrong area and now she didn't know where she was.
Madhu Balakrishnan. Madhu Balakrishnan is there?
Yeah, I'm here. Am I audible?
Yes. Please continue the story.
Okay, crossing the road, looking for the magazine. She decided what to read today. So she takes up a magazine and then walks back to her seat inside the cafeteria, waiting for the date to arrive. It was a long gone day. The promised person did not turn up, and she was thinking as to what next. And the pages of the magazine were not very interesting as well. So confused and looking forward, she decided to go back home.
Okay, the next person is Tamil Arasi Manikandan. Tamil Arasi Manikandan. Is Shamala here? Sundaresan?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Please continue the thread, Shamla.
1 second. Let me just start the video. 1 second. Just give me. Yeah. She went back home and she called up her friend and she was pretty upset that her friend did not turn up. And her friend told her that she got stuck in the middle of a emergency and she could not turn up. And Sharmila, being this smart kid, asked her friend to make up for it. And her friend Sumita promised her that she would get her Oreo milkshake or a chocolate the next time they meet. Yeah.
Okay. Sundaresan is here. Sudha is next. Sudha?
Yeah, Sundaresan is here.
Okay. Please continue the story.
Yeah, she came back to the building and as a casual way of saying that she said hello to the watchman and started moving. But that old watchman was eager to talk enough and he shared his opinion, his feelings rather. My children are in different states during this crisis and daily morning my wife and myself are going through this very big stress that how are our children? So even though we are here, our hearts are in different states. So at that moment, she, as a Toastmaster, understood not only that speaking, that listening to others' problems is an art.
and it suits the other person's mind. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Is Sudha there? Sudha? I saw her earlier. Okay. Sridevi? Sridevi from Qatar?
Yes, ma'am. Then Sharmili comes to her room, and she speaks to one of her classmates and says that I met the watchman and he was talking about this, and we should help others, and we should do something in our time and make our time efficiency, and do something. That's it. Hello.
Done? Okay. Your time is not up. You want to continue?
No, ma'am. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Madhu Balakrishnan? Okay. Madan?
Yeah, I've already spoken. Madhu Balakrishnan, I spoke already.
Okay, okay, fine. So, Madan? Purushothaman? Yeah, please. Yeah, please continue.
So as she was talking about time efficiency and how she should use her time correctly, and she should allocate time to her relations and ones who she cares about, she thought about this as she walked down the stairs. So once she started going down the stairs, she saw a neighbor's dog actually. So it was walking by and she had the urge to pet the dog. But as she walked near to the dog, she started feeling that how does these dogs feel? We all humans care about one another and we are afraid of being, okay, told you.
Okay. Venkatesan? Unmute yourself.
Hello, is it audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. That neighbor, what Mr. Toastmaster Purushothaman was talking about, the neighbor is myself, not the dog or cat. And then I told her about the time management in my club, DTM Suganti. You should learn from her. Even though your friend is not ready for the cafeteria to meet you, like Suganti is my role model in the club. Because of her, she is giving opportunity in each and every session, either in the virtual meeting or in the club meeting. I adore her qualities of time management. Exactly at 2:55, she will start a meeting, and 5 o'clock she will complete the meeting. I told her, you should follow my club member DTM Suganti's time role activities. Over to you.
Okay. Next is Devandiran. Devandiran. Lakshmi Ramesh is here.
Yeah. Hi, Renu.
Hi.
Here. Yeah.
Can you please continue the story?
Yes. Even though Smita is not convinced because of her friends not turned up, because she waited for a long time in the cafeteria, and she read the magazine, but her mind was thinking about her friend, and what she thought, at least she thought to call one of her other friend to to talk about their studies, all those things. What is the current scenario? How she is being at home? How she is spending her timing at home? So all those things, and she started to spend at least 1 hour talking with her friend over the phone. So she was still continuing. Thank you.
Okay. I can't see the timer anymore. Sharanya? Can you please continue?
Yes. As she was in her house talking to her friend over the phone, like she was asking the reason, like why she couldn't turn up, and her friend gave a strong reason, telling like since the parents is not well, so she was taking them to the hospital. So Sharmila rushed to the hospital to look into to look at Sumati's parents. So that's it, Ren.
Okay, fine. Can we move on to Ranga now? Ranga?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
It was at this time that Sumati realized that although she was not able to meet her friend Sharmila and she had some important work being her own parents, something had happened to them and they were hospitalized. She should have also at least made the effort to call her friend and tell her that she could not make it or she could not go and meet with her. And she wanted to apologize to her for not making up to her. At this, sorry, that's it.
Okay. The next person is the timer himself, Ashwin. You'll have to time yourself and continue the story.
Yeah, I know, definitely it's very, very challenging. Probably we had various stories. And my story at this point of time, actually managing a few things, not able to connect with it, all the various stories. And at this point of time, I would just say being a part of this session and just going through and enjoying all the various stories and various thoughts that comes from each one. I would just like to say this is probably a great session, a great initiative of doing it through, instead of giving different topics and doing it. This makes people to be more connected with a particular story and make people more attentive also. And there I'll leave it. There my 30-second goes. Thank you.
Okay. Next person is Rashmi. Rashmi, I hope you are listening to the thread. Please continue where the last person left off, not Ashwin's part.
Yeah, sharing. So she realized that her friend Sumiti's parents were hospitalized, and that's when she realized that in this busy world and the life that we are living in, we need to pause and we need to think that let's give time, some more time. Things will come back to normal. There will be again a date when she can go for a lunch date with her friend. But at this point of time, her friend's parents needs her attention and she should support them. At the same time, this also gave her time to pause and think that might be we are rushing so much and not being effective. Sorry, I'll pause because the time has passed.
Okay, thank you. Next is Jagan.
Since she was rushing both in her life as well as in the hospital, she got confused as in what is life after all? If my friend's parents, my best friend's parents are hospitalized and I'm not able to connect with her and her parents at the same time, and what is life in that sense? So how do I go on? As Rashmi said, she wanted time. She wanted to take time off from this busy life. Thus, she landed upon a library and stood there to listen to podcasts, audio files, to read books.
Okay, I can see one more Raghunath here, but I guess Raghunath is finished. So I'll move on to Ram. Ram Prasad. Ram is not there. Okay. Dinesh. Dinesh, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there, but I wasn't following the thread fully, but I believe that a friend's parent was hospitalized and then she was feeling very bad. So that's how life goes as it is. But we may not be able to connect with everyone, but certainly during this Corona times, we have to be together all the time. And I hope that we keep this initiative forward. Over to you, Renu.
Okay. The next person is Prashant.
So as Smita was, as she found herself in this situation,
where she wanted to actually begin the day. She wanted to start the day after the rain, spending time with her friend. But then the situation totally changed, and she had to. She got the news of her friend's parents being hospitalized. She then thought how productive, how the reality of life is, how it changes so quickly. So she then heard a loud noise outside her hostel, and she found a lot of people were being beaten up by the inspectors, by the police inspectors. So then she thought,
Prashant?
okay, I should go.
Prashant, sorry to interrupt you, but your time is up.
Yeah.
Okay. So the last person will be DTM Sampath.
I have been called to write the epilogue. After all, Toastmaster friends, too many cooks. They have spoiled the broth already.
Yes.
What sort of management lessons, efficiency, do more with less and all those things. This poor Sharmila has not been updated by her date, and she was outdated, and she has been inundated with emotions. More than that, she is still hungry. She's not eaten anything. She goes inside, picks up a dinner roll, applies lavish butter and generous jam, and start eating that. Then she thinks this is better than going out for a date and ordering fanciful French names and getting the stomach half filled. She thought, hereafter, forget about dates. If you want dates, we'll have Zoom dates, and then we will eat at our own home. Whether it is Smita or Sumati, as people started confusing the name, different aliases they gave. But I am the one who is supplying the essential ingredient to satisfy the tummy of Sharmila.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, one thing I wanted to mention here is we're all Toastmasters. We're supposed to be excellent listeners. I felt that most of you were not listening. I specifically said it's a story, so you have to continue the thread. There should be certain elements in it. I think many of you have just taken the story all over the place. There was no proper conflict. There was no proper resolution. So it doesn't matter, but I feel that the names kept changing. I never gave the name to the character, but somebody very smartly, I think Saravana, gave the name Sharmila. Actually, the friend's name is Sumita, it became Smita, then it became Sumati. So it was extremely funny actually. But I think next time we have a spin a tale like this, people should pay attention and continue the string. If you use the string anywhere, like how Ashwin brought in something, you cannot bring personal people into this. You cannot bring some other Toastmasters name because this is a story. You just need to continue the story so that there is a proper conclusion. So we know where Sumita and her friend Sharmila stand at that point in time. So that is what I wanted to actually do, because my mind, I came up with the beginning of the story. So like that, it's like an impromptu thing. You should just say whatever you want. You can add any characters, you can add whatever you want, but stick to the string. That string should be continuous. So at the end, okay, this was a solution, this is a resolution. I hope I'm clear on that. Thank you so much to everyone for participating. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Renu. The table topic session became a case of Chinese whispers today. So that was still very interesting because people twisted it the way they wanted it, right? So that brings us to the end of the TT session, and I would ask the timer to read out the qualified TT speakers today.
Yeah, Balamuli, as almost everybody apart from two of them have qualified, almost all, since it's more of 30 seconds. And
the names of qualified speakers?
Yeah, so Saram, okay, apart from Sridevi and Dinesh, all are qualified. The qualified speakers are like Saravanan, Madhu, Tamilarasi, Shamala, Sundaresan, and Purushothaman, Venkateshan, Ranga, and Sambat Saurarajan.
Yeah, Janani is also qualified, I think. Janani, I saw her speaking.
Yeah, Janani too. Yeah, apart from Sridevi and Dinesh, all rest of them are qualified. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, timer. Thank you for the reading out the qualified speakers. Audience can vote in the end of the session. We'll now move to a very interesting evaluation session, which will be run by the general evaluator. Hence, I'll pass my baton on to the general evaluator for today, Pranav Sudarshan.
Okay, thank you, TM Modi. So here I am back for the second half of the meeting, the very important evaluation session. So starting with that, the first evaluator for today is Toastmaster Raghunath Nair. As all of you know, he works at Nissan. He's been like an all-rounder, been into marketing, sales, and planning in the automobile industry for many years. When I asked him his thoughts on the theme, he said he doesn't believe in it because it equates to extremes. He says that you only bring in a practice of living with things that you really need so that you can focus on the ones that matter most. So with this, I request Toastmaster Raghunath Nair to evaluate Ishwar's speech. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Congratulations, Dr. Ishwar, for an excellent presentation of your second speech in the Toastmaster journey after your icebreaker session. What is communication? It's primarily an exchange of information and what should a good project should have? It should have a good opening. It should have a good transition from an opening to the body, and then finally conclude with a good closure, a good message that the audience can take over. So what did you excel in today's speech? You had an excellent opening where you caught the audience attention with a beautiful question of how many of you are married. I mean, that actually create a kind of a thing to look forward in your speech, and then in the whole body, the transition from that question to the whole body was really good. You had a lot of humor, and then you had a lot of gestures. Even in the small frame of the camera, you had gestures. There was a smile in your face when you had that the vocal variety. When you moved from a questions and you were thinking, there were a lot of activities which you had in the body. But the eye contact, according to the audience, was really good because your focus was on the camera, and it actually helped in a good exposure of the thing. But what happened after that? It suddenly went into an abrupt conclusion. You felt like, okay, and after all these things, I suddenly felt, is it marriage good or bad, kind of thing. So there wasn't a conclusion for which or a message that as an audience we could take through. So the 2 points of improvement that I would suggest as a thing for your next speech is work on structuring the speech from a good transition, especially a transition from your body to the conclusion, and where a good message can be given out to the audience. What I would like to challenge yourself is to utilize the full time that you had. You had 5 to 7 minutes. I believe the timing with which you finished your speech was somewhere around 5 minutes, 2 seconds or 3 seconds. But you should utilize that time of 5 to 7 minutes so that the whole purpose of that delivery, preparing the speech and delivering it to the audience went well. Overall, a good speech. Wishing you only the very best for your next speech, and I really look forward to hearing from you a lot of such projects in the future. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Yeah, thank you very much, Toastmaster Raghunath, for that evaluation. So, second evaluator today is one of my good friends that I made in Medley, Toastmaster Dinesh. He's the current treasurer, and he's an MBA graduate who's in a construction company in Sholinganallur. So he says it's very important to focus on less to do more, as it has an everlasting impact for him. So with this, Dinesh, could you please do your evaluation?
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav, for the warm words. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. Today, Toastmaster Lovely delivered her speech. Her speech is a second speech in which she has delivered the same speech before. She has put forth many other negatives and she has quoted. Let us see how she has spoken. She started her speech in a very interesting manner by asking how many of us plan in our daily life. It really embezzled me, especially during this time of Corona, when there is no planning at all. We don't know how far the situation will be. So kudos to her for asking this question. And then there was a proper structure in a speech, which is very vital for a good speech. First, she spoke how planning is very important in our daily life, and then she connected about how two types of planning happen in her life. First was when she went to Taj Mahal, and the plan went perfect. She went to visit Taj Mahal from Delhi, even though there was just 2 minutes time. And the second is when planning goes awfully wrong. For example, when she was pushed around the hostel. So kudos to her. There was a perfect structure in the entire speech, and she ended it in a very smooth manner. But there are a few recommendations which I would like to tell to Toastmaster Lovely. The first one is vocal variety. Vocal variety is very important because it will create an interaction with the audience in a better manner. When she was told by the hostel warden to vacate the premises in 24 hours, she could have made it more dramatic. Like, what, 24 hours? She should say to us in a way that she would tell towards to the friend. She should be surprised. And I would want her to improve in her vocal variety. And the other thing is that she could have the narration in a more interactive manner. Like, for example, when she and her friend were going to visit Taj Mahal from Delhi, they could have had some interaction like, come, let's go to the Taj Mahal and see. Yeah, why not? Like, the sudden planning was that maybe it will create a more impact with the audience because interrogation is there. But overall, it was a brilliant speech, Lovely. And also you have rectified many of the recommendations which were given in your previous speeches. Like, you waited for everyone's response when you asked a question. How many of you plan on a regular basis? And similarly, you could have used hand gestures in a better way, but still, I think you were handwritten because you had to hold the mic in one hand, so it was not possible for you. Overall, it was a brilliant speech, Lovely, something which you have to be very proud of, and I'm looking forward to your next speeches. Over to our general evaluator, Toastmaster Pranav.
Thank you, Dinesh. Moving on, so next evaluator. Actually, I didn't ask his. I was not able to ask his introduction. But all I know is both of us studied in the same college, and he was my senior. So I've spoken more to him in Medley than I've spoken during those 3-4 years in college, to be frank. So it's none other than Jagan, who will be evaluating one of our best evaluators in the club, DTM Thomas T. Abraham. So Jagan, over to you.
Evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. A subtle blend of logic and emotion is the similarity that I see in both Mark Antony's speech and DTM Thomas T. Abraham's speech. Now, what are the positives that I see in this particular speech? Now, one is a well-organized speech, defining the goal. He used the title of the speech to define the goal. Now, any persuasive speech would say, use a cliche just in time and use that in your speech every time. But the title of the speech was perfectly used by the speaker in order to define the goal, which with respect to this speech suited well. He defined the problem, the JIT, just in time. That's the problem that we have. He also gave the solutions to these problems, 3 points, 1, 2, 3 points, and visualizing the solution. There was a slight line when he said visualizing the solutions, which is part of his speech, which I liked it very much, and a call to action. So this organization of the speech was very well done. Now, the second positive that I see is the credibility of the speaker. Now, in terms of the ethics, now the project manual gives emotions, ethics, and logic. He uses ethics part. Given that he is a DTM, that's point number one, and he is the VP of this club, his posture and the delivery gave a lot of credibility to his message. Now, it is innate. In front of Medley, it's innate. Given that he's a DTM and a VPA, that gives a lot of credibility. Plus the delivery and the posture, which gave the credibility to the speaker in terms of the ethics. Now, as I said, the title was very wisely chosen in this way, given that it defined the goal in itself of the speech. Now, what are all the areas of improvement that I see? The articulation part of this speech. When he was defining the problem, he used an analogy with respect to learning a guitar. I was able to follow it. But whether all of the audience was able to follow that particular articulation, and I can extrapolate that articulation to the other parts of a speech too. Defining certain things in complex ways may not be the right way to articulate a problem into the minds of the people. So first, articulation. Now, the second thing that I would have wanted in that speech, what is the impact of JIT? He did mention the downward spiral of confidence, but what is the impact of this particular problem so that I can do things that you want me to do, the call for action. What is the impact of that problem? The third thing that I would have wanted in your speech is that what is the impact outside Toastmasters? How would it affect me outside Toastmasters? I'm delivering a speech today in front of a division contest. That's fine. But what is it for me if I do it outside? To summarize it, it was a very well organized speech according to the template which was given, and a subtle blend of logic and emotion, the credibility of the speaker in terms of his delivery and posture, and the use of title in an innovative way to define the goals. If he could have articulated in a simple way the impact of the problem and the entire impact outside, he would have been Mark Antony, not Brutus. All the very best.
Thank you very much, Jagan. You have always impressed us with your high quality evaluations. So now moving on to the final evaluator of the day. I always get reminded of only one term when I see this person, nothing but Captain Cool. So he was also one of the past presidents of Medley, a very calm person, calm demeanor. And so it's none other than Ram Prasad. So Ram is an IT professional. And when I asked him his thoughts on the theme, he says that he uses the lean mindset wherein you focus on the less to get more. So with this, I would like to give the stage to Toastmaster Ram Prasad to evaluate the last speaker. Ram?
Thank you, Pranav. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. The moment may be temporary, but the memories are forever. So when we are preparing for this, I'm preparing for this evaluation, I'm getting the message from Toastmaster Ramanujam, who was our past finance manager, sending the thank you note for being part of the Ovation 2019. After 1 year today, the people are still cherishing those moments. That moment, that enjoyment is not possible without the proper planning and the proper execution of the program team that led by Krishna and Kannan. Today, Toastmaster Krishna has brought together the memories of Ovation 2019. For me, it was more like the video MOM with the background of Ovation in the background, Ovation theme in the background. It was more like I went back the 1 year of time and seeing the Ovation 2019 live again. I am one of the witnesses who participated in Ovation 2019, which was the frictionless and very efficiently conducted meeting. Still, the people are cherishing and appreciating that. The plan is perfect and very detailed. How detailed it is, the person who has prepared the plan was not physically present at the time, unfortunately, but his plan is executed well on the stage by his team members. It was a brilliant idea from Toastmaster Krishna Kishore. He has given the abbreviation for Ovation, opportunity. So what is the learning from us, from Toastmaster Krishna's HPL project? He got the opportunity and he grabbed the opportunity and given his 100% effort, and he deserved the appreciation from all the people. I have worked with Kannan and Kalyan, who was the previous program chair and even chairs from Reverberation. How detail oriented they are and how they have appreciated Krishna was everyone in the Toastmaster fraternity knows very well. And what are the learnings he has suggesting us? It is very important to manage the time, the impromptu leadership, and optimizing the time, and the networking which he has learned from the event. So that is something which every Toastmaster needs to learn. And when there is an opportunity, go and grab the opportunity like Krishna, and you will get more learning. That could be applied in your professional life, and as well as it is helpful for your personal life as well. When he had the networking, he has given the example. Some recommendations is, I felt in the presentation at the end, the summary was little long, so that took some of the overtime. You were more enthusiastic, Krishna, that is, the time is prolonged, and maybe because of the summary. I believe you were trying to show the images at the end, and I couldn't see the PowerPoint or images presented. So maybe if it is not only for me, and that could have been corrected. So overall, you had the very great plan, and that is well executed. Looking forward to see you in more speeches and the next big gala event as well, Krishna.
Thank you, Ram.
Thank you very much, Ram. So with this, everyone, we come to the end of the evaluation session. I request timer Ashwin to please read out the list of qualified evaluators. Ashwin?
Yeah, thank you, Pranav. And among the 4 evaluators, only 3 are qualified. Toastmaster Raghunath Nair is qualified, Toastmaster Dinesh is qualified, and Toastmaster Jagannathan is qualified. And Ram Prasad has exceeded the time, so he is not qualified. Thank you.
And timer, you may also continue with your detailed report.
Yeah, I'll just start from the speakers. Among all the 4 speakers, the first speaker, Dr. Dhavaneshwar, he spoke for 5 minutes and 4 seconds. And the second speaker, Lovely, she spoke for 6 minutes and 4 seconds. And Toastmaster Thomas Abraham spoke for 6 minutes and 58 seconds. And Krishna Kishore spoke for 14 minutes and 3 seconds. And the table topics, almost everybody spoke for between 30 to 35 seconds, apart from those 2 mentioned earlier. And coming back to the evaluation, Raghunath Nair spoke for 2 minutes and 47 seconds. And Dinesh spoke for 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Jagannathan spoke for 3 minutes and 11 seconds. And Ram Prasad, 3 minutes and 56 seconds. Thank you very much, G.
Thank you, timer, Toastmaster Ashwin. We now move on to the R-Counter report from Toastmaster Rangarajan. Rangarajan, sir.
Thank you, General Evaluator. It was a pleasure listening to you all carefully today. You kept me completely focused and did not permit me to doze off. It was better me counting your hours than you counting mine. I'll give you the feedback now, which of course, to bring to you the awareness of your speaking and to help you improve. I know that I have done a lot of hours in my table topics. I'll come to that a little later. And I know some members challenge themselves from meeting to meeting to see if they can do better than they did the previous meeting. Here we go. Toastmaster Dhavaneshwar, he had a few hours and a few repetitions. And the repetitions were sometimes this, like, whenever, she is, and will. Toastmaster Lovely Aryan had a few hours, a few so's, a few likes, buts, you know, and there was just one pause. And for repetition, she used the word somehow, sometimes, life. D.M. Thomas, he had 2 so's, 1 pause, and a couple of repetitions, because and 1. Krishna Kishore had quite a few hours and 3 pauses. Among the repetitions, he used what, very, unfortunately, as a part, which was, network of professionals, and finally, quite a few times. Among the table topics, it was a rapid fire session. I had absolutely no way that I could write down the number of hours and the number of pauses. It took, I felt that it was going to be too much. And I, for myself, having spoken for only about 20 seconds, I'm sure that I used more than 15 hours. Among the evaluators, Toastmaster Raghunath Nair had a few hours, 3 likes, and repetition kind of like. Dinesh had 4 hours and 1 pause. Toastmaster Jagannathan, it was a clean speech, but there were a few repetitions, innate, credibility, and given that. And Toastmaster Ram Prasad, he had 3 pauses and he used the ovation quite a few times. That's all from me. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ranga. Now, I call upon the grammarian Toastmaster Sharanya to give her report.
Thank you, Pranav. So going to the grammarian's report, it is always a delight to listen to Thomas Abraham, sir. So distinguished Thomas Abraham, sir, has used the words fumble, outstood the time, and it was like a quote that he used, just in time Toastmasters. Self-confessed, bloodthirsty monster. So these are the words he used. So moving on to distinguished Toastmaster Krishna Kishore, he used verbose, live, smoothing, and abstract. He also used theme of the day once, do more with less. And in TD session, Toastmaster Sundaresan used the word crisis, and distinguished Toastmaster Sambat Sauriyarajan sir used like multiple words. It was nice listening to him. So I forgot to like make note of the words. Even though the story had ups and downs, he finished it off very well. And moving on to the general evaluation session, Toastmaster Raghunath Nair, he used challenge. So Toastmaster Dinesh used awfully wrong and rectified. Toastmaster Jagan used blend of logic and emotions, cliche and credibility. And Toastmaster Ram Prasad used the quote, moment may be temporary, memory forever, and prolong. That's it from grammarian report. And one more thing, like nobody used the word of the day, it was efficiencies, and the theme of the day was used by Krishna Kishore, do more with less. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Sharanya, and also to my tag team for your wonderful detailed reports. So now we come to the part where myself, I give my detailed report. So the observations I made were the meeting started 5 minutes late. We started at 3 p.m. So probably from next time, the role players can come around 2:45 or 2:40. So at least even if you have login issues, you guys can be on time, GIT, just in time at 2:55. I noticed slight interruptions during the time when prepared speeches were given or evaluations were given. I think please mute all your microphones. And also in Krishna Kishore's speech, there was a slight lapse when he wanted to show some pictures, which would have been wonderful. But yeah, let's take care of that. And now I come to the timer. What I noticed was at times I noticed the timer's video went off. I think if that happens, then the speaker may not notice if he's exceeded or if he's on time. And when he was giving out the sounds during the green, amber, or red, they were not audible enough. I think we can improve on that. And also, all of you, when you're speaking, please pin your timer. I also noticed that the TMOD of the day was sending messages. So guys, please make sure you pin the timer from next time. And coming to the interesting talk room sessions, so many speakers spoke beyond the time limit of 30 seconds, even when the timer flashed red. So I think that can be avoided. And there was also many areas where people did not follow the thread. And yes, I think we can listen better from next time and follow the thread. And that was a wonderful talk room session. Yes, so these were the recommendations that I had, and the good ones were we had a lot of good prepared speeches followed by quality evaluations. So with this report, I hand over the stage back to the TMOD, Toastmaster Balamurli. Over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator Pranav. Thank you very much for closing the evaluation session. Before I hand over the baton to the presiding officer, I would just like to briefly touch on this theme again, theme of the day. So here again, it's about brevity, right? When you're talking about making more out of less, we're talking about brevity out here. Okay. So last week I saw a video on WhatsApp, okay, which was a very interesting video. So it talked about creating some kind of an island kind of a thing on a sea, an artificial island on a sea, where people can live the way they want. They will not be under any jurisdiction, or for that matter, any government. So there's no need to probably pay taxes like what you do, right? So this is an interesting idea. But then, if you look at it, it is a brainwave of the uber rich, okay, who do not want to pay taxes or who do not want to share resources with others. If you see, the seas are already polluted, and there's a lot of things we need to do to clean up the seas. And projects like this are going to actually make it more difficult. I hope the lessons from COVID-19 acts, and we can put a full stop to all these esoteric projects which keep coming up. Yeah. So before we close the thing, I just want to tell all the participants as well as audience here that we have to vote for 4 different categories here. One is the best speaker. Please vote for the best speaker there. Best role player, best evaluator, and the best tag player. Please take the next 10 to 15 minutes and please vote for the same. Yeah. With that, I would hand over the baton back to the presiding officer today, Sugandhi Periyaswamy. Over to you, presiding officer.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bharata Murli, for taking us through a very thoughtful session. I'm sure in the era of pandemic, all of us have been getting that thought of having to do with less but trying to do more. And today, I think you only kindled our thoughts in the same path. And I'm sure that we will have many more profound lessons that we could very well implement in the days to come. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Bharata Murli. It was lovely having you back with a bang as our Toastmaster of the day. Can we please give it up for Toastmaster Bharata Murli? Okay. I'll now request all of you to please cast your vote for the best speaker, best evaluator, best role player, and the best tag team player. And I would also now like to take in some feedback from our guests. We've been joined by a few guests for today's meeting. Would guest Rashmi like to share a few words with us, please?
Sugandhi, if time allows, due to some technical glitch, I couldn't share the PPT. As today is 23rd, if possible, share the pictures so that people will be able to see the pictures of ovation.
I have downloaded the PPT, Kishore. I can bring it up on screen. Yeah.
Thanks, Sugandhi. First of all, it was really great, and I've been wanting to join this for the last 6 months, but the situation, I'm not being available physically in Chennai, was not allowing me to join. So this entire pandemic did bring certain positive things. So I think this is one of the positive, that it's allowing me to join it virtually. And if it continues having virtually, even in days to come, so that even when I'm not here, I will be able to continue this, because that has been a long time a passion of mine to do this. And it was a wonderful session. So thanks everyone. It was great listening everybody, understanding from everyone, and listening about ovation of last year. I think I joined on a very nice day. So thanks, it was great. It's overall a very great experience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rashmi, for joining us. And please do join us during the subsequent weeks, as and when you're permits to do so. Thank you. Would guest Madhu Balakrishnan, would you be willing to share a few words?
Yes, thank you, Sugandhi. So it was a wonderful experience, and I was really thankful to Raghunath Nair, who constantly persuaded me to join one of these sessions. So it's one of my first sessions that I've attended, and I think this brings a lot of value for people who wanted to speak and present themselves on a stage and win the career objectives that they have. I wish them all the best, and I look forward to more and more of such sessions. Energetic sessions, I would say. So thank you very much. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guest Madhu, for joining us today. Let's move over to hear from our guest Madan. Madan, would you like to share a few words with us, please?
Earlier I have visited the last session, and there was some disturbances earlier, but this was the first session I was hearing from the starting to the end, and it was looking very good. And I was assisted by Ram, who is my office colleague, along with to join here, the Toastmaster. I look forward to join future sessions as well, and try to have a good communication, improve my skills in that thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guest mother. For the benefit of our guests, Medley Toastmasters Club meets every Saturday at 2:55 p.m. and our meeting link for every meeting will continue to be tinyurl.com/medley online. So in case even if you haven't received our poster, you can feel free to just join in at 2:55 p.m. every Saturday. Is there any other member of our club who would like to share a few words today? We still have some time. All right. Thank you, Purushothaman, for that lovely detailed message. It was lovely having having you with us today, and thank you very much. Okay, we also have guest Devendran from Vellore Toastmasters Club, which is the first community club of Vellore. Thank you very much for joining us today, and I'm sure that we would love to have you in our forthcoming meetings as well. Now, moving on, I have to say yes to the request by Toastmaster Kishore, because that's a technical glitch that I have been trying to troubleshoot, but I don't know why Zoom did not allow the participants to share their screen. So I've downloaded Kishore's PowerPoint. So now I'll move on to share my screen and let Kishore do the voiceover. Over to you, Kishore. Kishore, we can't hear you.
Okay, can we get to the next slide?
Yeah.
Yes, this was the moment we were waiting for, and I think it will start in another 30 minutes from now, last year. So the flag bearers walking down onto the stage. This is the first event we have planned on 23rd May 2019. Let's move over to the last few slides, Suganti, just slowly. I don't have anything to speak in between, but towards the last. And this is the inaugural thing, and we had few pictures. And if you want to see the pictures, go to tinyurl.com ovation-2019 so that you will be able to cherish the moments. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kishore. I'll now request our members to also give me a quick moment for me to bring up the winners on the screen.
Very quiet. I thought, let me break the silence.
Oh my God.
All of us are waiting with bated breath.
All right, here we go to the results of meeting 566. But before we move on to appreciate our role performers for today, let me remind you that the deadline for submitting your nominations is May 30th. I request all of you to please look at considering to be a club officer and expand your horizon in terms of leadership. And the elections will be held on June 6th. The nominations committee chair is DTM Guru Prasad, and I will be sending out an email shortly after the meeting requesting for nominations, and you may please submit your nominations to the nominations committee chair, DTM Guru Prasad. Moving on, the best speaker for today is DTM Thomas Abraham. I think we can unmute and cheer for our best role players and performers for today. The best evaluator is Toastmaster Jagan. The best tag role player is our counter Toastmaster Rangarajan. And our best role player today is our Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Balamurli. And as with any session, since today happens to be a very special day personally for me, I thought I will take you all to a place in Tamil Nadu by the name called as Chettinadu or Karaikudi, known quite famously for its mouth-watering cuisine. So today we have the snacks served all the way from Chettinadu. The first one here is called Appam. This one is Rava Laddu. This is Tenkurar. This is Mul Murukku, and of course with a variety of tea and coffee. I request all of you to please download all these snacks and enjoy it at your leisure till we get the opportunity to meet in person at IITM Research Park. With that said, I would now like to formally adjourn meeting number 566. And before we sign off today, please remember we have our meeting tomorrow afternoon at the same time. So we will meet again tomorrow afternoon at 2:55 p.m. for yet another interesting meeting. And let's now have some fun over fellowship.